Welcome to this exciting episode where we fill and prime the wings, drill holes in my beautiful carbon bonnet, and take the car to the MOT. Will it pass? Stay to the end to find out. I've decided I'm going to have the wings in body colour, but that means I can use filler to make these beautifully smooth rather than having to hassle around with carbon fibre. These are my favourite life of body filler and sanding. Well, it's 7:15 on a Saturday morning and coming down to look at the car, lots of dust. That front wing, a little bit of pinhole stuff, but pretty much there. Headlights around, needs tidying up, but I really want to get these headlights aligned. Well, it's Sunday morning. I managed to get a couple of hours in yesterday. Bodywork on that side. Must be coffee for this morning, it's early on Sunday. Down this side, that just is a bit sunny off. Fuel cap bugging me. It's a really awkward shape to make a lid for, and it's all a bit wonky. So I had Chinese last night and thought, oh, you know what? That would sort of fit. Cut the plastic tub down a bit. That goes over there. So that's now being bonded in with the big square. Hope that's the right place because that's a very small circle to fit the fuel pipe. So here's the wing with the new fuel cap fitted. I think that looks pretty neat. Only downside is I've got to take the fuel cap off if I want to remove the wing, but slop some filler over there, tidy the edges up, and then work out how to do a cap on it. I got about this far into making this wheel arch. I want to get this feature line here, and thought, how do I make sure this is smooth and identical to the other front? So I went to have a look at the other front. Yeah, so that's pretty kind of even. And then I thought, how do I make sure the front matches the Porsche original back? And, well, as you can see, it doesn't. So, okay, this is something I've seen on YouTube. If I want to replicate that shape, I do a body filler of that shape, let that go off, take it off, and I can use that as a scraper. Carefully apply some body filler to the wing, use the template to scrape it off, and you get add a bit more body filler, try again. Yeah, this just really didn't work for me. I ended up ditching the template and just using a normal fat scraper. Alright, you join me on a Friday afternoon. Skiving off work a little bit, but slightly crowded garage. Got the car in here now. Got the front wings here. It's going to be pissing down all weekend, so I want to keep these dry. But I also want to fit my bonnet catches. So these bonnet catches, that bolts on the car, that clamps to the bonnet, press the button, and they come apart. Nice and neat, shouldn't look too bad on top of the bonnet, and they can go at an angle. So when the bonnet slopes down, these can point up, everything's good. Bit of chance to find where to mount them. If I want to mount them to a nice solid crash barrier, it's blind, so I've got no way to get the bob to bolt them in. Don't really want to bolt them onto the that because it's just stuck in place with glue. This actually is fairly solid. So what I'm going to do is go into that corner there. That goes in there nicely, and it leans at an angle, but not enough of an angle. The bonnet wants to be right over here, which is more than the flexibility allowed. Okay, to get these at an angle, I've wrapped a bit of aluminium around a nail, so that sticks up more and that sticks down. And underneath, got the same in reverse. That means that now leans forward, so the topper that clips on can lean forward, and that's now enough of an angle to fix the bonnet. Great. Now I'm going to drill a hole exactly in line with that pin up in the bonnet there, blob of paint on there, bit of tape up there, paint touches the tape, and we know where to drill. We've got a dot Need to drill through there very carefully. Well, I've drilled 2 small holes in the bonnet from underneath, and amazingly, a little silver bit is the pin. So in the right place. Well, hey, 20mm paddle bit. I'm not going to film this while I'm actually drilling it because A, there's no space to put the camera, and B, I don't want you to see a grey man cry if it goes wrong. The plates aren't glued in place yet, but they're bolted tight, so let's see if the bonnet closes. Well, yep, that's closed. This side isn't. Oh, no. No. So plan A for the bonnet pins didn't work, but I've got the hole, so I can't move those. At this end, I'm going to make a bracket instead. Some hours later, we have our bracket fitted, bolted there with a big bolt, that one to adjust the angle, that one to catch the bonnet, and a crazy funky angle to match the crazy funky angle of the bonnet. And when you drop it, it is now firmly fixed. And when you press the stud, oh, it releases. Fixed, released. Okay, this button stuff took a little bit longer, which is why I'm working my torchlight now. But look at this. There's 2 buttons. I press them, the bonnet comes up. I let the bonnet go, it locks. Locked. Locked. Press the button, release. Locked. Now, bloody time. It's a rainy Sunday morning, so I can't work outside. Never mind, I'll work inside. Yeah, no room to work in here. I seem to be getting more and more of these days. Trying to find gaps of the weather. Obviously the car's in the garage. The wings I'm sanding down. These are pretty good. Blah blah blah. Get it ready to prime and then watch some YouTube videos about how to use an air gun. I've never used a spray gun before, so I picked myself a cheapie up off Amazon. I've got a filter, pressure gauge. I'm going to practice on the old bonnet. Try it for the first time in my life. Obviously I don't want my garage covered in shit, so I'm making a spray booth out of some cheap old sheets being stapled to the roof, and I'll have that as ventilation, but I will move the cars out of the way so they don't get any spray on them. Well, my first attempt at spraying prime was either a fucking disaster or a great learning experience, and a couple more practices so that it started going without quite so many runs and thin patches. Okay, we've got our makeshift spray tent. We've got the front wing there. Just wait for the last of the paint to filter through. Then I'm going to be spraying it. Still wet, as you can see, but it looks pretty good. It's a sunny Sunday morning and we're ready to do the other wing. Shitty weather, forced to be inside again, but both wings have got the first coat of primer on, so now I need to fix number plate, headlights, fix the wings, put it through an MOT. Well, here we are. First attempt. Let's see what we make of it. Car's back from the garage. How did the MOT go? Yep, we failed. I'm actually quite happy. It failed on 2 things. 1, headlight alignment. a couple of tweaks of that. They'll do that as part of the MOT. So that's not really a fail. What it really failed on was brake pipe leaking. Yeah. So somewhere there's a leak on that caliper. Pain in the ass, but it's not my fault. I haven't touched the brake calipers. But to me, that, even though it's a failure, is a success. And on this cold and frosty morning, we're back at the workshop because I've decided to get them to fit the brakes. It's only a little tube, but basically there's a tube between the calipers there which is leaking. They'll fix that, MOT it, and should be on the road for the weekend. It's the weekend, we're not on the road. Where they took the caliper pipe out, the threads in the caliper were knackered, so they're going to have to heli-coil it and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, they're going to do that. Next episode, it's going to be on the road. So like, subscribe, and all that jazz, and I'll see you on the road soon.